There. Hi, and welcome to this live. I'm actually a bit nervous to talk to you today because the topic is hot potato. The topic is supernatural experiences related to abuse. And I have had several very strong and clear experiences, spiritual experiences, both with the dark side and from Team God. And I know that many of you have also had experiences. But this topic, I think that this topic is very, very essential when we're talking about abuse. But it lies exactly at this interface where science no longer has all the answers. And it is also a bit controversial. And I don't have all the answers either. So, but at least I can share my experiences, and if you have experiences, then we can discuss them. Some of you voted. So yesterday I put up a vote, and so I wanted to see which topic you were interested in talking about today. And then there was a tie between this topic, the supernatural experiences related to abuse, and what we bring with us to our future after we leave an abusive relationship. So I flipped a coin, and what we bring with us to the future actually won, but a little like almost very closely after that, something happened that was an answer to a struggle, like a spiritual struggle that I have been having, and also I think a very clear sign from God. So then I changed the topic to this one. And this is the one that I'm most nervous about talking about. So, and I will share this what happened with you so that you will understand it. But we will have the other topic next week. So next week, the live stream will not be on Thursday, the usual day, but instead it will be on Tuesday. And on Tuesday we will speak about the things that we bring with us into the future after leaving an abusive relationship. But in a way, perhaps it is better to start with this topic, because I think that the biggest thing that I am bringing with me into the future from that relationship is exactly these experiences that Hi, Libby. Welcome. Okay. I'm happy that you feel that this will be an interesting topic. Yeah, so I think that the most important thing for me that has meant the most that I'm bringing forward into the future from my relationship is that during my relationship, I found God, let's say. because I was suffering, I was seeking God, and He helped me and also showed me in several ways, and I will share them, that I was guided and protected and I wasn't alone. So even though I went through a lot of that doesn't mean that I didn't suffer, or like I didn't experience bad things, but it was like He was in control over it. So I thought that I might start to share firstly a bit about my own experiences, and then perhaps you will have some questions or share some experiences of your own. Okay. So I will start with having a sip of tea. And I think that, well, my plan is to explain the things that were very clear to me, where I got clear guidance and help, and almost like miracles from God. And then I might also share the spiritual side, like the spiritual dark things that I experienced. And I have to say that, so I was in this relationship with my ex-husband for 21 years. And during the relationship, as I said, I started to suffer a lot. I felt like emotional torment. I felt that, like, the things that used to bring me joy, and I couldn't, like, for example, like when before we had our kids, and before the relationship turned really oppressive and like increasingly abusive. And the signs were there before that as well, but I wasn't educated about abuse. I didn't see them. But when things really started to shift so that I was suffering, the relationship did no longer bring me joy. At this time, I was responsible for 2 young kids. So my children are just 1 year and 9 months between them. And I was pretty isolated during this time, and tired, because I was taking care of both of them. And my husband was, not helping me, but rather causing me suffering. So he was criticizing me, and he was disappearing, and like things were not good in the relationship. And there were also fights between us, and he would become very angry and scary. So I was very lonely during this time, and that made me, this was actually like that year, when things really turned bad, and there was an incident when I almost died. He yeah, during an argument, it became very, very dangerous. So, and this year I was, this was the most difficult year for me, and it was also the year that I started to read the Bible. So I hadn't read the Bible before. I had believed in God, but I didn't believe in, like, I hadn't read the Bible, and I started to read the Psalms, and I started to get comfort from reading the Bible. And so this was sort of the start of me seeking God. And during the relationship, I felt that. So I was seeking God more, and I felt that my husband was turning more and more dark. So part of it, I think, was that he was showing more of those dark sides after I was stuck. So after we had the kids. But part of it, I think, was also that he was turning more dark or more evil. And I believe that I believe that evil exists. It's like, even that is a bit controversial to say, because evil is that's a moral judgment. But I believe that there is such a thing as moral values, and I believe that we feel that, like, our conscience will tell us what, like, where the boundaries go for what is not okay to do. But if we push over that, if we cross over those lines, we will feel that little whisper less and less. And if you look at people who are doing evil things, it's a gradual process where they first of all push their own moral boundaries more and more, and they also, I think, there is a reason for why are they pushing these boundaries? Well, it's because they want to gratify some sort of something that some fantasies, or something that gives them a kick or makes them feel powerful, and they will do this more and more because they don't get that same feeling from the actions that would give them that feeling in the beginning. They have to push more and more to get the same feeling of power, or to get the same feeling of that this is my from observing my partner for many years, and from reading a lot and thinking about these things. So there is a book called Ordinary Men, for example, who describes how like a group of police, like ordinary guys from Germany during the Second World War, they were not soldiers. They were employed like some sort of like, they were employed to keep the order in areas where Germany had occupied land. And if I remember correctly, it was a few years since I read it, they were not forced to do the assignments. They were like, they could choose to go back to Germany. Like, they were not employed as soldiers. But they were given assignments in Poland. And so this group was used to, first they were like clearing out ghettos or villages, and then they were asked to kill people. So in a, like, this village needs to be eradicated, and they were asked to do these actions. So and this book describes how, like, in the beginning, the the men, the ordinary men, they were horrified, and they felt this reactions to what they were doing, and feeling nauseated and so on. But gradually they became like, it no longer affected them the same. So when you do things that are immoral or not right, then you won't feel it as much. That becomes normal to you. And then it's easier to keep sliding down the wrong slide. Okay, so yeah, I think like during the years that I was with my ex-husband, I saw him turn very, very evil until so to the point where he would resent doing like an easy, simple favor for anyone. He would be envious. He would be happy, like if someone had something bad happen to them, he would be very happy about that. And he actually started to talk about like really, and this was at the point, like it became so bad. So it was so disturbing that I was thinking, like, how do I get out of this alive? Because he was talking about, he would sometimes talk about ending his bloodline, so or killing us all. And so I stopped trying to discuss with him. I stopped trying to reason with him when he would say something horrible. Before this, if he would say something a little bad, I would try to reason with him. But you really don't mean that, or have you thought about this? But at this point, I was thinking about how do I get out. So I was started to observe him like I would observe, like if I was in a psychiatric ward and observing like, or trying to figure out what I was dealing with, like So when he would share with me what he was thinking, I would not contradict, like I wouldn't push back. I would just listen. So nod and okay. And then he would share with me, I think that, yeah, I'm not putting any ads on this video. So I think like if I will speak candidly, I think that it will be okay. I don't think they will remove the video. So he started to say things like, I think that Hitler was really smart because it was a good thing that he killed everyone in the bunker and himself so that his enemies would not be able to would not be at the mercy of his enemies. He would go out with the flag on top, and he would say that like the world is like a pyramid, and like you need to be on top, because if you're not on top, then other people, like the ones that are not on top, will have to look up to the person on the top. Like he saw the world as a power play, and as I said, he was very selfish and self-serving, and liked when other people, like when things were not going well for them. And he, like I also started to notice that he liked to make me suffer, or make fun of me and put me down. So he was sadistic, which is like liking to see other people suffer, and that made him feel powerful. And even though I was still doing a lot of things to make his life easier, he was doing a lot of things to make my life harder. And a man who will want to harm his own children, I think that we can call that an evil man. And the scary thing is that it's not just my ex-husband. It's happening all over the world. So I know recently there was this mass shooting in the US, which was really upsetting. A father who murdered his own children. And of course, not everyone who is an abuser, like most of them will not go to that length, but I think that and like there is you either align with either you start to align with the dark side, or you try to align with the good side, and then you can be like a little bit in the middle. But I think that no matter which way you think you take, there will be like a process, and there will be perhaps a struggle. And so I think that that's something that we need to be aware of, at least. That we make choices every day. We make choices. Like, do I do the selfish thing? Do I lie to get a benefit, or do I be honest? But that's like, it will be a little more difficult. What do I do? Or perhaps like yeah, perhaps that's things that we are dealing with, and other people may be struggling with other decisions. So, okay, but there is something else that was going on with my ex-husband, besides just me observing that he's becoming more and more evil, and I'm scared of him, and he is thinking about harming us, and thinking about really disturbing things. But I also saw some other things that made me think that, well, this is something more going on than just him being mean. And well, first of all, when I I shared in the beginning of this live how during 2017, which was a really difficult year for me, because of the abuse in my marriage during this year was really bad. And I started to read the Bible. And so during this year, I started to go to church and I got baptized. And my husband, at first, he didn't seem to care. But then there was this one evening where he told me, so who is number one? Is it me or Jesus? Which is a very, very weird question. Oh, thank you. I see your comment. Yeah. Yes, I was baptized in 2017, but then I have been sort of ambivalent, and I also have this tendency to go like to think too much about the theoretical parts, and then I get tangled up in like not understanding fully every detail of the theology, and then and then I sort of backslide. And but yes, that's when I got baptized, 2017. But anyway, so he asked me this question, which I thought was very, very weird. Who is number one? Is it me or Jesus? And yes, exactly, Lydia. And I didn't understand the question, so I said, well, it's Jesus, because if I believe that he is God, then he must be number one. And he got this he had this horrible look on his face, like I can't believe this. And he was serious. That was the weird thing. He really, it was as if I had slapped him. He looked shocked, and he couldn't believe what he was hearing. And during one of his rages, he also tore the Bible that I had. And usually, this is another one, but usually they are pretty thick, so I can't but he tore it apart during a rage fit. So there is something that really provoked him about Jesus and the Bible. And of course, he was my ex-husband was a Muslim, but he wasn't really he wasn't a believer. And so I don't think that was what was going on. I think that there was something spiritual behind that. And let's see. Daughter of my Abba, welcome to the live. My husband was trying to pull me away from God, and he would interrupt me during my morning quiet time on a regular basis. Looking back, I can see he systematically attacked my relationship with God. Yeah. It's like, and I noticed this with like abusers or narcissists. They want to be God, so they want to make the rules, and they get provoked if when you have any I think that when you believe that there is something higher than them, I think that they get provoked. But I also noticed, and this was later, so as I said, my husband was not really a believer in God. Like, I shared a bit of what the things that he was saying, that he idolized Hitler and was thinking about ending all of our lives, and that's I can't believe that anyone claiming to be a believer in God in any religion would do that. But I noticed that these people, the same people who will attack your relationship with God, they are very quick to use religion when it comes to justifying their own behavior. So they might tell you, well, you're supposed to forgive me, or when I in the end left my ex-husband, and he sent me his emails and messages, and he said that, well, you should forgive me and stay with me, because you will get your reward in heaven. So they're quick to use verses that will support what they are doing, or to give them freedom, and to give you, it's the same, really, typical of abusive relationships are that he gets rights and you get responsibilities. And sometimes they use scripture to justify the same imbalance. They don't care about this. If you are really religious, then you would look more at the verses that apply to you, but they're not interested in that. They're only interested in trying to find proof that you should submit to them. So let's see. And I'm taking in a few comments now, because let's see. And how horrifying, you say. Yes, it was really, really scary the last year, and very scary. So I'm lucky that I got out, or that we got out without anyone getting injured. Let's see. Daughter of my Abba, you say, yes, totally. I ran into that too. You mean with the verses from the scripture? Let's see. I was so stuck because of the use of scripture to keep me forgiving, submitting, and forbearing. Yes. And I think that sometimes, like actually today, I came across another, like, it's very common, even on YouTube, that you will hear these things, like from people who obviously don't understand abuse, and encouraging you to be the bigger person. But yeah, I don't think that we're supposed to stay with someone who is obvious, like doing things to harm us, and who wants to put themselves, like who gets provoked when we're trying to follow God, and they're trying to put themselves in the place of God. So like it's very difficult to have a relationship with God when you are close to an abuser, I think. Yeah. And I noticed when, and this was another, like, I think spiritual experience was when, so after I left, when I was close to a certain person in my family, which who is themselves abusive, I couldn't pray, like, and I started to swear, and I never swear. So it was something that was, I think, affecting me, like around these people. And I also, like, something else, when now I'm just talking about still the, like, spiritual experiences from the the dark side around abusers, that I have experienced. And the other big one is sleep paralysis. I've shared about this in some videos, and also I have a video on my channel that talks about sleep paralysis, and I share it there. But I had these, and so if you know what sleep paralysis is, it's when you wake up, like you go to sleep and then you wake up, or it can also happen when you fall asleep. So you're like you're just falling into sleep, so you're still awake, but your body is paralyzed, so you can't move, only your eyes, and then you get this often experience of something being in the room. Sometimes you will see a shape and feel something pressing down on you. So this is where these stories about the mare comes from, like the origin of nightmare. And the first times I experienced this was when I was in my early 20s, and I just moved in together with he was my boyfriend then, but when I moved in together with him, I would experience this. And then when we got married, it disappeared. But after I left, and this was a period when he was stalking us, this sleep paralysis returned, and it would return, like it was very, very intensive. Like I would have it several times in a night. And but the thing was, and I would see like a dark shape standing next to my bed, or like touching me. And It's very disturbing, but this shape would, and the paralysis would release when I said the name of Jesus. So, but it would come back every way. Like it was a long period, several months when it was returning, and like one of the last times when it. Hi, Alice. Welcome. I think it's your first live. You just jump in, and we're talking about like spiritual experiences related to abuse. And I'm sharing a bit now, and I will go through a bit of the comments. I've seen that there are some comments coming in. Yeah, and I see. So, daughter of my Abba, you just shared about your children having night terrors, and that's thank you for reminding me, because that was also a big thing. Like during this period when the sleep paralysis returned for me, my daughter would again have night terrors, and she also had night terrors when we were living with her father, and they disappeared like the same night that we separated. They were gone, and she had them for 7 years. So every night, like after sleeping 1 or 2 hours, she would wake up and she would scream, like she was really, really upset, and she would scream and scream and scream. And I had to try to calm her, but she would be inconsolable. And then she would eventually fall asleep. And that happened every night from when she was, well, I can't remember, I think 2 years or something, and until he left. And then when the night terrors returned, when the sleep paralysis returned for me, then the night terrors returned for her during that period. So I started to think that perhaps it has something to do with like he is searching for us, and it was very disturbing. Like he was searching for us, and I was having this sleep paralysis with some sort of dark being standing next to me. And during one of those episodes with the sleep paralysis, I could actually see that this dark being was my ex-husband. So, well, I think that there was something going on there when he was searching for us. And perhaps part of it is that I was scared and I was suffering from CPTSD. So, but I don't think it can explain the whole thing with, yeah. So I think that I will go through a bit of your comments, and then I also have some positives to share, and that's like the big thing, and something that happened today that made me change the topic for the live, so that we will take what we bring to the future, we will take it next week. But let's see. Yeah, I'm jumping back here to Lydia because you shared something. I don't know if I'm going crazy, but after the abuse, I have a strong gut feeling of death when I call someone I haven't spoken to that day after their loved ones die the next day. That happened twice. And I also saved my neighbor from dying. Fell on the floor, and I just called. You call the emergency number here in Sweden, so 112. It's sort of like 911 in the US. And you told them that he was on the floor. He lay there for 2 days. The call saved his life. Oh, did you just feel that he was lying on the floor, or did you see him? Or Let's see. So I feel supernatural things after abuse. That's interesting. Okay. You can feel when there is something going on, like if someone has died or if someone needs help. Do you, Lydia, do you know like what opened that, like what started to, did you try to see, like, have you had a spiritual journey, or did these experiences just come to you? If you want to share. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Daughter of my Abba. One day, and you shared before that, I will jump back because I don't know if everyone saw your, you shared that your children had extreme night terrors when your husband was still living here. And then you say, one day my 5-year-old told me something big and dark lived near my husband's computer desk. Oh, something big and dark. Yeah. Perhaps he or she sensed something. Let's see. Yes, our 5 and 7-year-old would do that, and they would point and scream in terror, obviously seeing something I couldn't. Yeah. Just like my daughter, I mean, waking up and screaming. Yeah, something scared them. And it's called night terrors. So let's see. And Alice, you said, oh my goodness, that's terrible. I don't know what you meant. We were talking about the. Okay. Let's see. Perhaps you meant the night terrors. It's hard for the children to deal with. And then you say, daughter of my Abba, my 5-year-old has had one since he left. And other than that, there hasn't been any. That's interesting. So that same thing happened to you, like what I experienced when my ex-husband left us. The night terrors just stopped overnight. And they only returned during that period when I had the sleep paralysis. I have nightmares about him being back and him laughing that he won't leave. I wake up very anxious when that happens. Yeah. I also have those. So I had, they come, I don't know how long you have been out, but there was a period when I had them like every night. But now they come less often. But I had one a few days ago, and they're so vivid. Like it doesn't feel like a normal dream. It feels like, no, I'm back. And usually in my dreams, I will try to escape. So I have escaped like 1,000 times. Let's see. And Lydia says, yes, I felt it. You felt that your neighbor okay. Let's see. It was a good thing that you saved his life. When an old person falls and can't get up, and he had been lying there 2 days, he gets dehydrated. So yeah, he would have probably not made it if you hadn't made that call. Let's see. And Alice loves Jesus. You say, my only spiritual experience related is coming across videos talking about getting out. It's so weird. Like I found you, for example, and another channel that basically explains spiritual warfare. Yeah. That's a good thing. You're getting what you are needed at this time. And so I will share a bit, like when I will share about my the helpful experiences that I had, and most of them were after I left, like when I really, really needed help. That's when I like when it happened. So let's see. And then you say, his demons rise up the more I follow Christ. You mean that he gets more abusive, or you see him acting out more? Yeah, and Libby says, thank you all. Mine isn't as dramatic, but you're confirming so much for me right now. Yeah, that's good. I think it's really helpful when we come together and share. And not all of our relationship is like they're not exactly the same, but there are parallels, and we can learn from each other. And sometimes it feels like there are some relationships and some stories, it will feel like copies, or that in a way they are acting very, very similar in some ways. And then Lydia says, I just started going closer to God, but it started after severe narcissistic abuse. Okay. Yeah, that's the same thing, like the same experience I had. Like it really took that I was tormented and suffering emotionally, and scared, and isolated for me to start to seek God. And I know you're also from Sweden, so like Sweden is a very secular country, and I didn't grow up with religious parents. So yeah, but I'm not happy that I got abused, but I am happy that that I did find God, and that I did feel this help and guidance. Let's see. And Nelly says to Lydia, the closer you get to Jesus, the more the demons will rise up. Yeah. Let's see. And daughter of my Abba says, I would just sing Jesus loves me and recite scripture when that would happen. And what would happen? Let's see. You mean, I'm not sure what you mean. You mean the nightmares or something else? Ah, the night terrors. The night terrors. Okay. Oh, for the kids, you mean, for the children? Did it help? And Alice loves Jesus. And Alice, you say, I'm so glad my son was grown. Yeah. When you met this man, or when the abuse happened. It's hard when there are children involved. So I'm happy that your son did not have to experience it very closely. Of course, he must be affected anyway, I guess, but from seeing you go through it. But it's harder when they are small, I think. Let's see, a daughter of my Abba. Oh, yes. Yeah, okay. So you've been out for 3.5 months after 28 years in the relationship. Yeah, okay. Now I remember you shared that once before. Okay, so the night terrors of your children stopped, and you're having some nightmares. Yeah, I think also like the brain starts to process a lot after we leave. I noticed that the nightmares would shift. Like when I got to a different stage of my healing, my nightmares would shift. So in the beginning, this was actually earlier. I have forgotten about this period of nightmares, but I would, when we had recently separated, I had very disturbing nightmares. And this was during a period where we still had some contact. And I felt that these nightmares are warning me to not meet him alone, or I took measures to stay safe, such as only meeting him in a public place and not allowing him to come into our home. But I would have nightmares about him harming me, and they would be very vivid, like very realistic nightmares. And I would be very during that period. And later, the nightmares would be about me being back and starting to, back in the relationship. And then there will be a long period, like when that fear of him started to lessen, then I would dream about me fighting back. So there was a period, and this is sort of, it still happens. Anytime that I dream that I'm back, I will start to try to escape. So I will escape somehow. In one nightmare, I called a cab and then I escaped from the balcony. So let's see. And Alice, you say, your son, he actually likes him. He doesn't realize how abusive he is towards me. Okay, yeah, it's hard for others to see. Daughter, I'm getting out after 13 years. Yeah. Hang in there, Alice. I know that you share that it's not that long until he will leave. And you, daughter, you say it's hard, but it's worth it. And I'm glad you're getting out. Yes, we're happy for you, Alice. I believe that these abusers have demons. Yes, I believe that they are. they have some sort of interactions with some dark entities. The last year, when things turned so bad in my marriage, my husband would he would mutter he would talk to himself in the night, and it was like he was fighting with something, like he was tormented by something. Yeah. Let's see. And then Alice, you share, yeah, he just gets nastier and more argumentative. So I'm guessing that you mean when you get closer to Jesus. Is that like the answer to that? He gets nastier and more argumentative. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that it is helpful let's see. I think it is really good to come together and share. And I also really like these these lives. And then Lydia says, why do we get supernatural experiences after abuse, do you think? Well, what I think, that abuse has something, like we are struggling with a person who is abusing us. But I think that there are some spiritual forces act like behind it, and have you heard about synchronicities? Like when things happen. Carl Jung wrote about this, when you have things happen that it's weird, like it's a very low chance that it would happen. Like you think about the person and then they call you the second after. Or like you watch a movie, like you sit and watch a clip about something and then the door open and your child comes home with exactly the same object that you're watching, like, or something like that. And if I remember correctly, I have heard a theory that, well, these things happen when you are on the right path, like there are signs. But I have heard people talk about these, like both when they are connecting with spiritual forces from the dark side, things like that can happen. But also, I think from the good side. So I think that when you are like why it happens to you after abuse, I think that sometimes sometimes it might be, as you say, I'm trying to get closer to God now, or I'm feeling that I am more interested in knowing God after what happened. Perhaps that is what is happening. Christians believe that when you believe in Jesus, then you will get the Holy Spirit will come to you and guide you. And you can also get some spiritual gifts. So you might get some, like, you might know or feel things. And I also experienced that I can feel things, not know things like you do, but I can feel well, now it's getting too weird for you too, but when I had this sleep paralysis happening, and sometimes otherwise as well, I can feel when there is some evil entity present. I can sense them, like when they are moving. Like even during daytime, I can feel some things that I can't explain. And I think that that might be a spiritual gift. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Libby writes something. It's true. If God has a purpose for you, the closer you get to accomplishing those, the more harassment and distraction you get from the bottom side, right? Yeah, I'm not an expert, but I think so. I think that there are two teams, and the bad team is trying to prevent you from doing good things. Let's see. And Alice, you say, what are the healing stages? Well, there is, as far as I know, there is no one who has categorized it like, but I noticed that I went through stages of healing after I left. Part of it was going through the stages of grief, if you've heard of them. So the stages of grief is something that a psychiatrist named Elizabeth Kubler-Ross wrote about the 5 stages of grief. So they are pretty well known. It's, let me see if I can remember them correctly. It's denial. You don't want to, like, so when I'm talking about grieving after the relationship, there are a lot of things that you need to grieve after coming out of the abusive relationship. You might have to grieve the person that you like, who, because in the beginning they present as a person that you fall in love with, but that person is not real, it's an act. So you might have to grieve that person, or grieve some losses that you had in the relationship. And then you don't really want to like accept that it's true. This may be like when you're in the relationship. So the grieving process can start while you're still in it. So it's the denial, and then it's the bargaining. Well, okay, so he wasn't as like that Prince Charming, but if I do this, then he might be better. And then it is, let's see, denial, bargaining. One of the stages is anger. And then you come to acceptance, but there is one stage in between. Yeah. Anyways, these are like, you go through these stages, and often it's complex grief after leaving abuse. So you might grieve several persons or several things. And then you have to process the trauma and the memories and the emotions that you're feeling afterwards. And I also noticed that I was moving from being very scared of him and feeling very weak, and so I was feeling a lot of bad things about myself and insecure. And as I was healing, I started to become more confident and calmer, and I also started to be less scared of him. So I had to reverse this image of him in my mind. In my mind, he was very powerful and scary, and he could do a lot of things, and he could notice when I hadn't gotten to something, and he would find that little thing and criticize it. And I felt so small, compared to him, because he was making the rules and he was harassing me. But so it took me a while to turn that around, and so that, I don't know if I'm making sense, but there were stages, processing, and it happened. It didn't happen neatly. It happened together. So I was grieving, and I was processing some memories, and I was trying to rebuild my confidence and so on. So that's what I meant with different stages. And then I noticed that my dreams, the nightmares that I had, and the content in them, it would shift. So when I felt more confidence, and then I would start to defend myself even in the dreams. So yeah. Let's see. And then Alice, you share, mine always talks under his breath. It's I thought that it was scary, because it's it sounds so menacing. Yeah. Let's see. I'll hear him muttering and complaining about things. Yeah. That's so yeah, and you're still living with him, so I hope that everything will go well, and that he will be out. It's difficult when you're living with them and they're acting like that. I thought it was scary when he was doing that. And it's something disturbing about someone who is muttering. Yeah, and it's very sad that they are so angry. Even if you give them and you forgive them, and they are still so angry and hateful and envious of others, and nothing is enough. And Libby says, yeah, the Bible says something like, we do not wrestle with flesh and bones, but with principalities. Yes, I think it's Paul. Paul. I can't remember where he wrote it, but it's a spiritual battle behind what is happening. Let's see. I think leaning on Christ can inspire him to shield us, and that many secular things about it can also be true. I'm not sure what you mean, but I think that we can learn. It's good, there is a reason that we have a brain, so we can learn and educate ourselves, and we can read findings in studies, but we also can we don't have to, let's see, when it comes to science, and especially when it comes to psychology, psychiatry, we can learn a lot of things, but it is not it is like it's not that easy to measure something when it comes to human behavior. There are a lot of factors, and like a lot of the things that we are learning from psychology, it's based on theories. So people are observing a certain behavior and then they make a theory about it. Some theories can be closer to the truth, I think, and I read or try to read a lot of psychiatric literature, and I might show this one like in a while. I will talk about this book in a while, The Heart of Man by Eric Fromm. We can learn a lot, but we can remember also that there are a lot, like it's not so black and white, even if we call it a science. When it comes to like psychiatric studies or psychology, it's not always black and white. There can be several theories from big names in the field, and they might be opposing each other. So I think and I'm not really I know that some channels are going a lot into different labels, and they're talking about different diagnoses, even though like if you're not working as a clinical psychologist or psychiatrist, you're not you can't really diagnose someone. And then you can listen to hours and hours of them digging into like different details of a possible theory of what might be going on in someone's head. I think that I used to listen to that as well and try to, but I think that it's not really, it's not always true. And I think that if you lived with an abuser, compare it to what you experienced and to what you observed. Like, was this what was going on, and does it fit? And if it doesn't fit with what you experienced, then I think you experienced the real thing. So that trumps a theory from someone who has not gone through it. Let's see. You like an author, an elite top pro at personal security named Gavin de Becker. He talks about our intuition being our subconscious, picking up physical cues around us that our brains need time to process. Yeah. That's like the right brain. I guess that he means like the left brain thinks you pick up facts, and it thinks more logical, and the right brain reads pattern, and you may pick up small signals that you don't register consciously, and then that's the intuition. Yeah, I think that's like that is true, or I think that that's part of it. We have this, so the right brain does read patterns. It picks up on something, reminds us of something else, or but I think that there is also something. Sometimes we will have intuitions that you can't explain just by that. I watched this documentary a while ago, and it was about. It was during the period when I was watching, I think it was Evil Lives Here. So I was trying to understand, like, I got a bit obsessed for a while with trying to learn about people who were similar to my ex-husband, because he did progress to that, wanting to kill us all, as I said. And so we did get a protected identity and live in hiding, and reported him, and I got a restraining order. But I was trying to understand, like, how could he progress? Like, how could he be so bad in the, like, how could this happen? It's like a movie. Like, how can even if he was selfish and even if he was narcissistic, how can he want to harm me and the kids and want to kill us? So I tried to understand that, and then I watched this Evil Lives Here, which was, I think it was a series. And anyway, on one of the episodes, they talked about a serial killer, and he got exposed from a note. I think it was a receipt or something in the pocket on the jacket of one of the victims. And I don't remember how, but that was like a vital part of the evidence. And this receipt, they interviewed the mother of that young boy who was the victim. And she said, I don't know why I put that receipt in his pocket, but I call it God whispers. So sometimes I will get the feeling that I just need to do it, and I do it. And that's why she put that receipt in his pocket. And that was how this killer got caught. Yeah. So, for example, things like that is intuition, or it can't be explained just by reading patterns, I think. Let's see. And Libby, you say, I think having to be hyper vigilant to minimize any damage of abuse tends to hone intuition as a skill. Yeah, yes. You get really tuned into any little shift in the environment. Let's see. And water off my Abba, you share. Yes, I felt very small when I was with him. I'm starting to realize he is just another person, not the giant I had pictured him being. Yeah. Yeah, he's just a person. And often these abusers are not, like, they don't have that much power, and perhaps like you, I don't know your situation, but you may have more things going for you than he has. So I started to, first of all, I had to build myself up or regain the confidence that I could do, like I can do this, I can, things won't fall apart when I'm in charge. And I did that by doing things and noticing that I was able to do them. And then I started to think, like, I was scared of him, but I started to think, like perhaps he should be scared of me because I'm the one who have reported him, and I'm the one who I have the evidence, and so on. And then I used humor, so I started to view him as being a bit silly, and because humor is a great way to fight back against a tyrant. They don't like humor. They don't like if you laugh at them. They get very angry. Yeah. But it's weird how our perception, like our thoughts about ourselves and them, it changes during the relationship. Let's see. And Libby, you say, yeah, the under the breath thing, it's creepy. Let's see. Alice. Yeah, he literally sounds demonic. You mean my ex-husband? Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to ask about mirroring. He now listens to positive, inspired videos in the morning and prays over food. However, he doesn't read the Bible nor change. Yeah. So when what should we call them? Well, a toxic person, a person who is like an abuser, they will often copy things that the target, the person that they want to have control over, or they want you to get into a relationship with them, or they want you to stay in the relationship. They will often copy some values, or pretend that they like the same things that you like. And mirroring well, it's I guess it can be that, but I think that the term mirroring is more used when copying like reactions or way of speaking or way of reacting. So you go to the movies with with your guy, and this is in the beginning, so he wants you to feel connected with him, and you think that a certain scene is very moving, and he may also like show you that he will take a little breath or something so that you feel connected with him. He's mirroring your reactions. But of course, they can also copy your morals, or so try to show you that you are the same, that he's safe. And perhaps, I don't know if your man now wants you to take him back, change your mind. he might show that, like praying over food and so on. It's quite common that abusers will suddenly turn very religious when you try to end the relationship, if you are religious, because they want you to give them another chance. Let's see. And then you say, it's like he's competing with me or so. I feel that way. Yeah, oh, yeah. Sometimes they do things like that because they want to feel better than you. Let's see. And Libby says, yeah, frameworks, theories, many lenses that we can view it through. Yes. And I think it can be helpful to view things from a certain angle, and then you like view it from a different angle. It makes you understand different aspects of it. And Libby says, not all abusers are the same or motivated by the same things too. Some might be on drugs or having psychosis or personality disorder. Yeah. Yes, I mean, in a way, they're not all motivated by the same thing. But also, like the basis of a person who abuses another person, the basis of that is sort of the same, because it's entitlement. So they feel entitled to getting their needs met, and to have their partner meet their needs, and without them having to give back. Lundy Bancroft, who wrote a book, Why Does He Do That? He writes about, like, even if the abuser has some sort of substance abuse or alcoholism, that's not why he is abusive. Like, there are many people who have like alcohol addictions, or they have some mental disorder, but they don't abuse people. So if they have such a problem and they abuse their partner, then that's two problems. The abuse is one problem, and the addiction is another problem. And I think that he might be right. So let's see. And Alice, you recommend a podcast on Spotify called Love and Abuse. Okay, thank you for the recommendation. And Libby says, after a while, I felt like I was trying to solve a Rubik's Cube relationship. If you're getting hurt repeatedly and it's escalating and not changing, then we could respond to the pattern of harm. Yeah. I think I know what you mean. It's like you're trying to make it work and try to figure out what is wrong, and and how to make the relationship work. But in the end, if things are not changing and escalating, then you need to respond to the pattern. Yeah, and you say, and protect yourself. Yes. Okay, and then Libby, you recommend Gavin de Becker's book, The Gift of Fear. Okay, and then he wrote a book about protecting children from firearms. Okay. And Alice, oh, I have to read this. I'm just realizing I'm so much better than his low vibration bullcrap. He's small and petty. Yeah, yes, yes, you are better than him. Um, and I can just share a bit. I was planning to, it was like now we got to discuss a lot, and that was interesting. But I was planning to share a bit from this book from Eric from The Heart of Man, because he says that if someone is creative and they are like he also talks about people either align with life, like life force and creating and growing or so on, or they align with the the force of death. Like they want things to be controlled and stiff, and they try to dominate others. And he says that, like, if you are creative and if you have this drive to life, then you don't need to be petty and like think about someone who did something to you, like a little small uh, thing that hurt your ego, and you think about it again. Like, so, yeah, I mean, someone who is going around like my ex-husband did, criticizing and bullying and so on, they are in themselves, they are weak, and they don't have this, they don't often have a lot of things going for them. So yeah, let's see. And Alice, you asked me, was he physically abusive? Well, he like this, he was a few times, but the first time that he was like so after 14 years together, then that was the first time that he hit me, and it was during an argument, and he hit me like I had a black eye. So and then it was during the same argument, he took one of our kitchen knives and held it against my stomach, and he did the same thing like the last year. He also threatened, like, and I think that he was going to use that knife, so I had to talk him out of it. But he, like, mostly he was coercively controlling and threatening. Sometimes he would throw objects like plates against a wall or something. And the last year that we were together, there was one incident when he did something, like he lifted our daughter up like this, and I had to stop. Like, it could have become really dangerous, and I had to get him to leave the apartment. So he did. I think that he was escalating to, even if it was very, very, like a few times, it was very dangerous. And a person like, so what I learned and what I also read in Jane Monckton Smith's work, and I have like a few of these books, I have mentioned them in the descriptions of the videos. But she writes about coercive control, and she has worked and studied and done research on coercive control. She is both a former police officer and then a professor. And she explains that something can, like people who are coercively controlling, they can be triggered by a feeling that they are losing control. And one of those common triggers is if the partner is wanting to separate. And that was what triggered my husband. So from not having been physically abusive, suddenly I had a black eye and like a weapon held against me because I wanted to separate. So even if a person has not been physically abusive, I think the potential is there. If they are abusive, it's just it can happen. Let's see. Okay, Libby has to go back to making supper. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, this was interesting from Libby. Mirroring can be body language as well. You shift your weight from your left foot and they shift theirs to the right if they're across from you. And you lean in, so they do too. Oh, okay. Yeah, they copy you. And Lydia says, one thing I can't wrap my head around is why they hurt the people who helped or loved them. Yeah, I think that's where, that's something that I also find very weird because it's, in a way, they are self-destructing because usually these people are not able to, many of them need others to take care of their life, so they're not completely self-sufficient. And yet those people who help them, they try to weaken them and break them down. Part of it, I think, is to trap us. They don't want us to escape, so it's harder to escape if you are weakened and they don't want you to have a lot of resources, and they might try to destroy your economy so that you cannot get away. And part of it might be, I will read a bit from Eric Fromm's The Heart of Man. Because here he writes about sadism. So why would someone hurt someone else? All the different forms of sadism which we can observe go back to one essential impulse, namely to have complete mastery over another person, to make of him a helpless object of our will, to become his God, to do with him as one pleases, to humiliate him, to enslave him. There are means toward this end, and the most radical aim is to make him suffer, since there is no greater power over another person than that is of forcing him to undergo suffering without him being able to defend himself. So when you hurt someone, you feel powerful. Let's see. Okay, Alice, you gonna test the mirror theory. Let's see. Yeah, and Libby, let's see. You see, yeah, the rules are different in different countries. But in the US, throwing things and breaking things around the house is also abuse, even if it's not physically harming people. Yeah, it can be abuse, and I think that the rules are different in different states in the US as well. But I am hoping, and it seemed to be that in more and more countries and states, they are recognizing coercive control as being abusive, and they are making it illegal. Then it's, of course, it's the like you need to be able to prove it. So, but yeah, it is abuse when you throw things. It is scary, and it is like a threat. Okay, so if you want, you can share some more in the comments. But I was thinking, okay, so I had a few things that I was planning to share, like the experiences that I had from being led and protected by God. And they came, most of them, after when I got out. But it's getting a bit late, so I was thinking I will just quickly explain two of them that I've covered in other videos, but then I will explain in more detail what happened today. That was really amazing. So okay, when I left my ex-husband, and then when we first moved into like a secret address in another town, he showed up there after 2 months. So he had found us, and that morning, like the day that I later in that day, I would learn that he had been in the area, like yeah, very close to my children's school. But I had a warning dream that night that he was there and that he had found us. So that dream made me change my schedule that day, and it made me go early to pick my kids up. And that was very clear to me that that was protection and guidance. Okay, bye, Alice. And then during another episode, when I had to run away from this address and I didn't yet have another place to live, I borrowed my brother's RV. And we were driving in the north of Sweden, and it was an area like no one was living there. It was like the wilderness, like forest and little roads. And I yeah, so I was turning the RV around and I went into this little dirt road, and there I got stuck with the wheel, and it was Friday afternoon in the middle of nowhere. And well, the short explanation or what happened was I couldn't get this car out, and then me and my son actually I prayed and I prayed in the name of Jesus, and the minute we took our hands down, then a little like a car with a car who was able to help us get up off this little ditch pulled into the road, and that was also like a miracle, because we were, as I said, in the middle of nowhere. So those two things happened. And I had like other things happen that showed me signs that I was taken care of for being led, even though this was a very hard time in my life. But recently I have been struggling with this. So feeling alone, and feeling that everything is up to me. In October, something happened with my car. I shared it like in the. I have talked about it then. I don't know if any of you remember it, but when I was driving on the highway, one of my tires exploded, and after that, so I haven't been able to fix this tire, but now it will be time to put on the summer decks. So there has been many tours with this car, and well, it seems like every time that I'm about to fix it, something goes wrong. So I borrowed this charger from because the car was standing still in the garage, the battery was like no electricity in it. So I borrowed a charger from a colleague, but then it doesn't work in that electricity output that I have in that garage. So, and I thought, so yesterday I thought I'm going there and I will screw out the battery from the car. And yeah, I'm getting, this is a long story, but it will come to like an amazing point if you just hang in there. So I wanted to go out and so my colleague said, if you unscrew the battery from the car and take it inside, and you will be able to charge it, and you'll be able to put it back in the car, and then you will be able to like take the car out of the garage, and then I can hopefully change the tire and get the car working. And yesterday I was going out to throw our trash into this. It's not a container, it's like something round, and it has a like hole, and then it goes pretty deep into the ground where you throw the trash in that thing. And when I was throwing my trash, my keys, it somehow stuck to the bag. And then when I was throwing the bag in, it got like pulled out of my hand. So my keys, like this big key ring with my keys to the garage and everything, it was down in the dumpster, and I couldn't get it up. And I even I tried to get these keys up, and it didn't work. Okay. And so I put off fixing the car. And the thing is that as soon as it is fixed, I need to take it to the car shop thing to make this regular control that you have to do in Sweden for it to be like, if you drive the car, you need to take it to the mechanic shop and do this. Like they will check everything to see if it is okay. Let's see, I will just remove this. No worry. Okay. Okay, so my plan has been I need to fix the car, I need to fix the tire, and I will need to take it to this mechanic shop to get it served, and they will like say that it is okay to drive. But everything has been working against me, and it has been pretty difficult to be without a car. And this has made, like, not only this, but, and I will also, well, some things have made me feel like if something happens to me, then how will I be able to manage everything? I'm just one adult taking care of my my kids, and everything has felt a bit fragile. I also injured my knee. Like, if that's also one thing, that I didn't get the car fixed because I had this knee injury, so I couldn't drive it anyway. And yeah, anyway, so I've been wondering, like, where are you, God? Why are you not helping me? And then even my keys got like ended up in this dumpster. I did get them, like this janitor helped me to get them out today. But because I couldn't go out to the garage yesterday, I was going through some old papers and trying to sort them out. And then this is what I found today. So, and this is the reason why I had to change the topic of this live to talk about the supernatural experiences. Because when I was going through my papers and I found this, and I didn't remember reading this advice when I did get my protected identity. But it says here, like, the tips. If you want to check your vehicle, you should never do it where you live, because that information in those registers they are public. So anyone who knows your registration number, they will know the city that you're in. And so then I thought, all these problems that I've been having with the car, it is for my protection, because if I had not had those problems, I would have taken the car to the mechanic shop, and then my location would have been public and I wouldn't have known it. So that showed me very clearly that God is protecting me and my children and keeping us safe from my ex-husband even now. And he has showed that to me many times, as I shared with the warning dreams and the help when we have moved. And now, like yesterday, my keys to the garage getting pulled into the dumpster when I was about to go out and fix the battery. And then when I couldn't do that, I was waiting. So then I found these papers, like, don't do it. Don't go to the mechanic shop close to where you're living. Okay. It was such an interesting discussion tonight, and thank you to all for sharing and for being here. Do you have any more questions or comments? I said it earlier, but next week the live will be on Tuesday, and then we will talk about the things that we bring with us to the future after leaving an abusive relationship. So the positive things. Let's see. And Lydia, you say, I just want to say thank you. I feel less alone after your lives. That you're welcome. I'm happy that you feel that way. Okay. Tomorrow I will post a video about why I sometimes delete comments. And it has to do with sometimes there will be some people writing some comments that include personal attacks or so on. Not people like not you who are part of the community, but sometimes someone will find one of my videos and get provoked. So I will talk about that tomorrow, and also how I deal with criticisms now, like in my normal life, or criticisms or suggestions or people judging me, because that sometimes happens. And I deal with that much different than I did before, like earlier. So this is one of the things that I learned, or I had to learn to survive my marriage. So I used to be very, very sensitive to criticism, but I still feel it, but I can disconnect from it a bit. But I want want to talk a bit about that, and that will be the video for tomorrow. And then next week, so I had promised it for this week, but it will be the next one. How healing after abuse is like an upward spiral. And that's part of the free Rebuild Your Life After Narcissistic Abuse course that I have on my channel, that you can just find in the playlists. So a lot of different topics coming up on the channel, and you're always welcome to write or comment anything, like questions or something that you are struggling with, and I listen to that and try to do videos that are helpful for you. Okay. Well, I'm thinking that I will end live for today. Thank you for keeping me company, and for sharing and for being here. Okay. I hope that you have a great evening or a night for those of you who are in Europe. Okay, bye.